Hello and happy gaming, everybody. My name is Darksage Walker, and we're about to jump back into Neon Abyss with one nice little difference. So I need 40 gems to unlock my next character, and that is what I'm going for. But I've decided to move it up to hard difficulty, which, as far as I can tell, what it's doing is adding extra enemies. But by playing on hard difficulty, so as you'll notice, there are a couple of pips sitting above the sign for hard. What I need to do is get that up to 5 pips, and I will unlock Abyssal difficulty. So how exactly do I do that? I need to win runs. And I've been having some horrible luck. I was up to 4, and then the game just decided to just flat out slaughter me twice without me really getting a chance to fight back. Proving that this is basically an all-or-nothing character. I like Saya, but because of the very low damage output of her gun, it takes her more shots starting off to take care of enemies than it does with other characters. And her sword doesn't really make up for that all that well. So even though she starts with more movement options and an actual decent melee attack, it doesn't quite have enough range, and it's not strong enough to make up for her poor starting firearm. As you can see, the sword doesn't exactly have great range either. Because despite how far you travel with it, doesn't quite hit in that entire arc. So even though she is one of my higher ranked characters, I still think she needs just a little bit of a rework. Alright, I will definitely take Judgment over Pink Flame. Maybe I won't. Because this weapon fires a sustained beam, without some damage upgrades, that's actually doing terrible, terrible damage. So not only does it leave me in the same spot I was already in with Pink Flame, but it also creates this problem of it basically holds your aim in one direction while you're firing the beam, so you can't just waggle the beam around. You're locked into firing it in one direction. Why those guys are worth so many coins to kill with her sword. Does her sword make enemies drop more coins just kind of by default? I'm asking because I honestly don't know. Now, she can get up there naturally just by swinging her sword upwards and just going, whee! But other characters need to do it the way you saw me do it earlier. This means every time I pick up a coin, I can get extra crystals. Not the most useful power-up for her early game, but that might mean something late game. But this, of course, assumes I get to late game, considering that the game is just loving tearing me a new asshole right now. Dark Sage, do you need to swear as much as you do? Yes. Yes, I do. Hey, a slot machine door that cooperates with me? Huh, how different. Alright, so let's play this game once or twice and see if we can't get ourselves a good new weapon. You know, like not that one. That one works. I'm typically fine with the kitty cat guns. The split bullets means that this weapon tends to do a decent amount of damage, and after a few upgrades, it's generally holding its own quite nicely. So totally fine with picking up one of the kitties. I see no reason not to hit up the secret room. But of course I need another bomb to get anything out of the secret room, so, you know, nothing fun there. Need a bomb to get that key. Not that I need a key, but, you know, it's just demonstrating that when you're at a lack of resources, sometimes the game just does not work with you. Okay, I don't want to spend all my money trying to open a slot machine door, so I'm out. I'm just going to go fight the boss. This is not a good boss to get early game. Now for one, he's constantly moving. For two, he has that orbital that just makes it even worse. For 3, he's got a lot of health for an early game boss, and 4, it's really hard to even so much as move against him because he covers so much ground with his attacks. So as you can see, now that that item was worth a weapon upgrade, and now Jimmy's shots are splitting into 5 split shots. Okay, I'm kind of low on health, so I'm feeling a little nervous about opening that door right now. Here you go. So obviously the key to this weapon is try to hit with the fishbone, because that way it's doing its damage, and the split shots are doing their damage. I was hoping for some hearts there, but you know. I can, however, get into this room. Which these rooms, either if they don't have a guaranteed chance at dropping an item when you clear them, they at least have a good chance to drop an item. And by that I mean like an actual collectible that can affect your stats and, you know, all that other good stuff. Now, there is some argument that that item is a bit overtuned right now, and it's just a little bit too easy because of them. I'm not sure I 100% disagree. I think it goes along well with the design of the game. The game having been designed, of course, for as they put it, infinite synergies. And if you take that away, then what you're left with is, because of the slot machine doors, because of the... I'm going to save that. I can actually get a violent room just by taking damage in a different room right now, and I would rather save that as a means to start up towards another one. There we go. Alright, so now that I have that open, here, okay, so one of the things that Saya can do that most characters can't is she has a lot of free movement tricks because of her sword. Most characters would either have to take damage to get in there, if they could even jump that high, or they would have to... Hello. Now I can open some of these gold chests that I have stored. Or they would have to have a bomb to get in there. In Saya's case, she can just take her sword and use it as a double jump. There we go. Okay, that item actually isn't all that great. What I'm gonna do is take it just because there's no downside to it. But if you know the game quite well, and like I'm starting to, not like I always do. Or have. Garand Clip is definitely the best item here. So now we've got an increase to weapon damage, and I'm firing multiple bullets per shot. But if I were... Alright, so here's what I can do now. I can hit that to start another violent room build-up. Yeah, I'm not going to worry about anything here. And now I can go back to this guy, finish trading him, hopefully just some shields. Now, there's a trick to this guy. If you trade quickly, you will get a tick up on not taking bad coin. You can just go eat a dick there, buddy. But if you trade with him fast enough, he'll do damage to you while you're on invulnerability frames. So he won't actually do any damage to you, but he'll still count towards the trade process. And that was something you could do with Isaac as well. The invulnerability frames after taking a hit lasted just long enough that you could generally get a couple of trades off of one tick of damage against the Devil Beggars. Extra shields upon coin pickup. Very nice. Wish I'd kind of come down here earlier, honestly. Considering how much difficulty the game wants to give me, I would say any help would be appreciated. And because I have the Infinite Key, we can open that up. Alright, so this guy is just a walking treasure chest, obviously made to kind of ape on Bitcoin. So what he does is he'll stop and, fuck you into a position where you have no choice but to take damage. But he tends to, when he opens himself up, he either throws out coins or bombs. And then on his second phase, he does the come into my body and I will ruin you thing. But he also does this thing where he draws in energy. No, that's what I was just talking about. Sorry, I'm an idiot. Let me try that again. He does this thing where... Alright, so after this next violence room, I actually want to go for a wisdom room, because now I'm getting to the point where I want to start focusing on defense. So, having the enemies turn that crystal into a red crystal was not good for me. And that is actually one of the changes I would like to see addressed, is I would like to see those crystals reworked so that they don't appear in enemy rooms. Some of you may disagree with me on that, but the whole reason is because half the time when I'm playing this game, it feels as though the game is more or less dictating my run for me by constantly hitting those things. You know, either because they're off-screen or because the enemies just happen to be spawned in, like, right next to the damn things. And I just lose any opportunity I had to try for something different. So I would very much like to see the placement of the crystals reworked. We are going to take Nerve System 6.0. Okay, so we're getting strong now, but now we need to focus on more defensive finds in order to make sure that we can maintain ourselves. So remember, after level 5, we're going to start taking double damage, so either we need to have the towel, or we need to be able to sustain ourselves better. Right now, our sustainability is basically... Especially if we have enemies that have huge amounts of coverage, like those guys do. So right now, using our resources to get built up is definitely not the worst plan in the world. Just skip the key altogether there. Now you can do that with other characters if you have a double jump. That's part of what makes Saya so good, is that she can just do that right off the bat. So she actually has the opportunity to get a lot of resources and get strong fast. But that is, of course, partially predicated on the game actually, you know, allowing you anything interesting. It is a roguelike game, so there's always the opportunity for things to just randomly go wrong. But again, that's no different from Isaac, so not upset about it, just making sure we all understand the physics. Dimensional bags. Actually, there's a treasure chest over here I can get. It's not much, but there's also a painted stone there. Oops. Wasn't worth much in the long run, but again, right now the whole idea is we are looking for opportunities. This is Frostfire. No, it's Nebula. My problem with Nebula is that the laser it fires is random, and coupled with the problem that I have with Judgment, which is another laser beam firing weapon, the problem I have with that is that while you're firing the large laser that Judgment fires, it's essentially locking your aim in place. You have to either... So you have to either stop firing in order to re-aim, or you have to just ride it out. The other option, of course, is to just not let the charge get that far and only fire bullets with Judgment, but you don't really get that option with Nebula. What do we got? Alright, neither of those items are particularly great. I also think that it's a little bit on the unfair advantage on the enemy side, that they get to already be in motion and capable of hurting you before they technically spawn in. There. Fire rate improvement is definitely going to be a big help. I take Famine a lot. I'm going to leave it this time. We're going to take our kitty, our precious little pretty kitty cat, and we're going to try to get work done with this. The game is giving me some of the hardest bosses. Hey, if you're wondering what makes this boss so hard, it's that he has a lot of coverage, and his shots are hard to predict, especially when he's at higher rank, and that bounty ball attack is essentially a split shot that turns into 2 bouncy balls. Alright, esports headset is movement speed and fire rate improvement, so our DPS is getting pretty solid now. Ugh. Okay, so of course. See, this is what I mean by the game essentially deciding your route for you. I did not want to take another violence room because I only have 2 hearts left, and I would now rather focus a bit more on defense. But the game just decided, nah, the enemies are gonna attack it right away before you can even move, so, tough shit. And if I throw a grenade at that wall, that's going to turn that purple chest red. I see you there, Deathray. Interesting to get that out of a vending machine. So if I find anything that can synergize with just the number of eggs I have, it would be nice. There we go. Now we're still in the red, so if you want to get back into purple, we still have to activate another crystal device. We use it using crystals, not attacking it, to get that back to purple, but if I accidentally hit any crystal devices before I can do that, it's all turning red again. That is another thing that I think needs to be fixed with this game, because it makes it way too difficult to get any defensive items at all, and essentially turns the game in one direction entirely. And once your offense is set and you really need defense in order to make things work, I think it's really asking a little too much for the game to. I think it's really asking a little too much to also never hit a crystal device when you're trying to defend yourself. And even though hard difficulty isn't that much harder than normal, the fact of the matter is it is still harder, so continuing to layer disadvantages upon the player doesn't seem fair to me. God, I hate this room. And now there's no way that we're getting a wisdom room because of that. But yeah, with just one simple change would make that a lot better. Don't spawn those crystals in rooms that are going to have enemies in them. Yeah, it's not worth it. Just make it so the player has a choice. Making it so that half the time the player doesn't have a choice as to whether or not they want to go wisdom or violence is just plain player hostile, I find. And I get how some of the decisions that were made to make this game were reached. They wanted it to be harder to get wisdom rooms. That I get, but they've made it so it's actually sometimes impossible to get wisdom rooms. Oh, you're harder. Well, a little bit. Okay, so that's not constant. He doesn't just jump and fall instantly every time. Alright, we're now at the point where we are taking essentially double damage, which means I actually pretty much cannot do a violence room because I'm not getting any survivability. So now this is all basically going to waste. Like I said, one simple change would make this so much better. Alright, so we're really hoping for something good to make things a little bit easier. Okay, both of those are just increasing my number of coins, which could be giving me extra shields, but you've been seeing how often that's been activating. Okay, this room is a big help. Oh, come on. Alright. I wanted to concentrate there to make sure I didn't get hit by the rotating ball and chain. Now, the whole reason to do that, even though it's more or less pointless to spend a grenade to get a grenade, is that I am of course hoping that what will happen there is that I will hit the device, or I'll hit the barrel, and it'll drop something other than a grenade, or other than the aforementioned grenade that's going to be in it as depicted, which it usually does, so typically works out nicely. There we go. So let's see what kind of room this is. I don't have enough coins! Let's see if there's anything here I would even want anyway. 8th color could be good. Chocolate coin could be good. Golden torch could be really good. Alright, so there's things there that are worth going for, but, you know, need more coins first. I'm going for golden chests because they tend to generally have a good number of items in them. This time was kind of an exception, but I've had gold chests save my butt in runs before. It does seem as though this run is definitely trying to test me. Which, I have no problem with being tested if it's being done in a fair manner, but the game is kind of trying to kick my ass. Alright, so now we've got a couple of shots at the crane game. Let's see if we can't get ourselves something good. Damn it. Okay, that's how that works. Alright, I was very unaware of how this version of the crane game worked. So I feel like I kind of just wasted 20 coins. Yeah, thanks for the new full screen attack there. Okay, well, as you can see, the game right now absolutely hates me. So that's actually, you didn't see the other two, but that is now 3 losses in a row, and I'm feeling like I need to maybe rethink the way I play the game. So thank you very much for watching. If you liked what you saw, subscribe to my channel. Again, I appreciate you guys spending time with me, even if it is on runs like this. So by all means, check out my social media, hit up my Discord. I'm generally available to talk, and even if I'm not talking, I am seeing the messages you guys are putting in there. So yeah, there's that. So again, I appreciate you spending time with me, and I will see you guys in a future video. My name is Dark Sage Walker, and I will be seeing you.